for bringing them over the highway, Lord. We thank you, Lord. We ask, Lord, that you take full control of the service today. Have your own way, Lord God. And we just give you all the praise, Lord. We give you all the honor and the glory. In Jesus' holy name we pray. Amen.
Please remain standing for the reading of the word by Sister Tess Anderson.
I will be reading from Isaiah 43, chapter 43, 18 through 21. Remember ye not the former things, neither consider the things of old. Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall ye not know it? I will even make way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. The beasts of the field shall honor me, the dragons and the owls, because I give waters in the wilderness and rivers in the desert, to give drink to my people, my chosen. This people have I formed for myself. They shall show forth my praise. I have read for you 4 verses from Isaiah. May God add a blessing to the hearers and doers of his word.
Amen. Amen. Thank the Lord for the word. At this time, we're going to have our devotion about victory in Jesus Christ. Praise team as they come. Let's thank the Lord for them.
Now I'm walking in victory.
peace back. I got my deliverance back. What happened when you get your peace back? What happened when you get your deliverance back? You can't want that. Bless that wonderful name of Jesus.
And you know what? I tell people it's real.
It's real.
It's real. It's real, y'all. I got a nephew that's here today. He was playing them drums up there one night, and the Spirit got on him. And I heard them tell him, oh, he was out of control. Complete out of control. And he tells me today, it's real.
It's real.
It's
Yes,
real.
it is. I like that.
It's
real.
real.
Hallelujah, it's real.
Thank you. You know, always welcome. National, international, whatever. You're always welcome.
It's real.
Come in these doors. As long as I'm here. Hallelujah. Let's walk in free. Amen. You're always welcome. Amen. Still welcome. Sing your song.
Amen.
Sing your song. Praise the Lord while you can.
Yes.
Some of us that was here last year, not here today.
Amen.
But we thank God for you all.
Amen.
You know, Black History, like started, they used to have Black History celebrated for one day. But in 1915, they started celebrating for the whole month of February. And we celebrate the Black History because we want to recognize what our older people did long years ago. A lot of times, you know, a lot of the children don't realize what we went through. I'm an old lady now. I went through a lot of stuff when I was a younger person. I wasn't allowed to go in a restaurant and eat and buy a hamburger. When I went, even when I was in college over there in Edison, we had to use separate bathrooms. Right? But we thank God for that. We've come a long way. Don't take it for granted. Amen. Call on the name of Jesus. Call on it. You can't get so high. We come a long way. We haven't got that high. We still need to call on the name of Jesus. If we call him to get here, we got to call him to stay here. Ain't nobody else going to help us. Ain't nothing else going to help us. But call him on the name of Jesus. Keep calling him. You say, you know, I was going to read this to you right fast. It says, Black History Month, also known as African American History Month in the United States, and then it's an annual observance also in Canada, Ireland, the Netherlands, the United Kingdom, and the United States. They all celebrate Black history. You know, it began as a way for reassuring people, and you know, it begins in a way as to remember people who fought and died for us long years ago, for us to be right where we are here, we are today. You know, long years ago, many years ago, they took our ancestors from Africa, mother homeland they call it, and they made slaves of us. They used us, you know, and they just dropped us off. A bunch here, bunch there. It spread us all around. Just got us all around. So we was left with nothing. We were left with nothing. We were lynched. When you disobeyed, you were lynched, you were killed, you were mistreated, all kinds of ways. You know, just treat it bad. The little children nowadays don't realize where we come from. We come from a long ways, y'all. Yes. And this is Black history. It's still Black history now. All right. You know, and I'm going to give you a little experience that I had coming up. I remember as a little girl, he always told me that my granddaddy on my mother's side was a very spiritual and sweet man. He was very nice. And they told me that he was working for this white man, you know, in sharecropping. And this man, he worked hard, but the man didn't pay him. He didn't pay him what he was supposed to pay him. So my granddad decided he'd take his family and move to another place where the people, he thought were treated much better. And I was told that my granddad turned away from this white man, turned his back to walk away from him, and he shot him in the back and killed him. And that was that. My dad bad. Nobody did nothing.
Jesus.
And a lot of that went on. And there are many stories. I've heard many stories.
Amen,
I'm not going to stay up here very long because they say I'm very precious. So I'm very funny. But anyway, I thank God for blessing us to be here today to celebrate our Black history. And they're going to tell you some things that you need to know. Maybe you already know. But maybe today we can learn something new. Thank you.
Come on, let's just give her another hand. Good afternoon. I thank God for being here. I thank God who's the head of my life. Giving honor to my pastor, Elder Tyrika Thomas, and giving honor to all of the ministers in the room. I thank you for all coming today and spending the time with us.
Can you adjust it so that it's close to your mouth, please?
Thank you. Yes. I thank you for coming today to spend time with us as we celebrate Black History Month. My name is Kiana Desmore. And my mother started this tradition in our church. My mother, Arlene Desmore, and I won't talk a lot about that because I don't want to get emotional. But I wanted to make sure that it carried on. So that's why we're here today and having this program, and I hope you enjoy the program. Before we get into it, we want to sing the National Black Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing. I want to skip ahead in the program a little bit. I have invited a former student, she's freshly graduated from FECU, Miss Jody Alexi Gordon here to sing a solo for us. And she has to leave, so we're going to ask her to come on up.
Good afternoon, church. It's so good to be in the house of God. No matter what church it is, I feel so blessed to be here. And I just want to thank you all for making me feel so welcome. I'll be singing Tomorrow by Tevin Campbell. Bless God. I hope tomorrow will bring a better you, better me. I know that we'll show this world there is more we could be. So you should never give up on your hopes and your dreams. You gotta get up, get out, get into it, get it on, and be strong. If we all show the world there is a better place, all we need is belief and a smile on our face. We can go anywhere we want, any road we decide to take, and we're never, never, never too far from tomorrow today. If tomorrow is light in a place there is none, but now is the time for us all to be one. We can all share this world, and we all can belong. We gotta get up, get up, get over it, get it on, and be strong. If we fly to a place where we all can belong, all we need is belief and a faith to be strong. We can go anywhere we want, we can go anywhere we choose, and we're never, never, never too far from tomorrow today. I hope tomorrow will bring a better you, a better me. I know that we'll show this world there is more we could be. So you should never give up on your hopes and your dreams. You gotta get up, get over it, get it on, to be strong. If we fly, we can go to a whole nother place. All we need is belief and a smile on our face. We can go anywhere we want, we can go anywhere we choose, and we'll never, never, never go far from tomorrow today. Tomorrow will bring a better you, a better me. I know that we'll show this world there is more we could be. So you should never give up on your hopes and your dreams. You gotta get up, get up, get over it, get it on, to be strong. I hope tomorrow will bring a better you, a better me.
Jody just graduated in December with her bachelor's degree in legal studies from Florida Gulf Coast University. All right, so the youth in Victory in Jesus Christ Tabernacle have worked really hard to prepare these speeches. And we gave them the topic of writing about their hero, someone from the past, present, someone they considered a hero. Someone is a hero is someone who puts others before himself or herself. A hero has good moral ethics. A hero does good for the sake of being good, not just a means to the end. A hero usually has 5 characteristics: courage, selflessness, humility, patience, and caring. So as our youth come up, somewhat they have to have courage to talk about their heroes. And the judges will not only listen to what they're reading, but they will judge them based on their ability to present the information in a way that the audience is engaged and that you understand what they're saying. Each of the students, I work in education, so I keep saying students. Each of the youth will be judged, and they will, the prizes are trophies. They get a goodie bag, and they also win a cash prize. So they have some high stakes here. Are you all ready? All right, so we're gonna start from the youngest, and then we're gonna go up. We have 10 contestants. We have 3 elementary age contestants. The youngest one is 5 years old in kindergarten, and I'm a little partial, she's cute. Akila Desmore Dawson.
My name is Akila Desmond. My hero is Rosa. My hero's name is Rosa.
What is she? She was a civil rights worker.
A civil rights worker.
One day,
After working
all day, she was tired
tired,
and sat in a seat on the bus
sat in the seat on the bus.
that was white only.
Right on. She was put in jail.
Then
The
bus boycott began.
the bus boycott.
Say it again, didn't hear you.
The bus boycott began.
Later,
Everybody
could sit wherever they wanted on the bus.
could sit wherever they wanted on the
Rosa Parks
Rosa Parks.
was a very brave woman.
Was a very brave woman.
Please give Akila another hand. Our next contestant is Maya Desmore Dawson. Please give her a hand.
Come on, Ma, you can do it. You're a big girl. Come on.
Our next elementary contestant is Akeem Watkins. Please give Akeem a hand. Give him another hand as he gets ready to come.
I see a black arrow by King Watkins.
Amen.
I see a black hero, he is strong. I see a black hero, he is brave. I see a black hero, he was born in 1902. I see a black hero, he plays baseball. He plays baseball. And he is good. I see a black hero like you and me, who did not stop and check our dream. I see Jackie Robinson as a hero too.
Let's give the judges a few minutes to complete their sheet. While they do that, I'm going to ask some trivia questions for all of you, because you should know this stuff, right? All right. So Akila talked about Rosa Parks. And Rosa Parks was instrumental in starting the bus boycott, right? Everybody remember that? How long did the Montgomery bus boycott last? Does anybody know? Right, you can raise your hand like in school, and I'll call you. How long? Well, the answer is 381 days. So we know that in a year there are 365 days. So that's over a year. Those black folk did not ride the bus. They walked, they caught rides, they did other things to get where they needed to go to boycott the bus, because that was important to them, that they could sit anywhere on the bus. They didn't want to sit in a little section that was black only. So that's a Does everybody agree? Amen. All right. Another question. What is the date of Dr. Martin Luther King's famous I Have a Dream speech? Does anybody know? The camera woman.
1965.
And sorry. Anybody else know?
I'll raise my hand.
What was the 1963? I heard it in the back. The date of in 1963, Dr. Martin Luther King said the I Have a Dream speech. Okay, we're gonna have Maya try again. Please give her a hand. All right, we'll move on. We have 5 contestants that are middle school age. The first contestant that we'll call is J.C. Peterson. Please give J.C. a hand.
Happy Black History Month, everyone. Today I'll be speaking on Muhammad Ali. 1942 through 2016 was an American former heavyweight champion boxer and one of the greatest sporting figures in the 20th century. And the Olympic gold medalist, the heavyweight title 3 times. He has won 56 in his 21-year professional career. Ali's outspokenness on his issues with race, religion, and politics made him a controversial figure during his career. And the heavyweight quips and taunts were swift as his fist. Born Cassius Clay Jr., Ali changed his name in 1964 after joining the Nation of Islam. Citing his religious beliefs, he refused military induction and was stripped of his heavyweight championship and banned from boxing for 3 years during the prime of his career. Parkinsonism severely impaired Ali's motor skills and speech, but he remained active as a humanitarian and goodwill ambassador.
Good job.
All right, the next person we will call middle school age is John Lindsay.
My name is John Lindsay. I'll be talking about. My name is John Lindsay. I will be talking about Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman was born on January 29, 1827. She was born into slavery, but in 1849 she escaped to Philadelphia. Born a slave, Tubman was beaten and whipped by her various masters as a child. Early in life, she suffered a traumatic head wound when an irate slave master threw a heavy metal weight, intending to hit another slave, but hit her instead. What makes her a hero is how Tubman escaped and subsequently made some 13 missions to rescue approximately 70 enslaved people, family and friends, using the network known as the Underground Railroad. Harriet was one of the most successful conductors of the Underground Railroad. Another thing is how during the Civil War she worked as a cook and nurse, and then as an armed scout and spy. The first woman to lead an armed expedition in the war which liberated more than 700 slaves. After the war, she retired so her family and the property she had purchased in 1859, where she cared for her aging parents. When she was active in the women's suffrage movement, illness overtook. After she died in 1913, she became an icon of courage and freedom. That's it.
When you told me that you wanted to discuss Harriet Tubman, I wasn't surprised. She's someone who I consider a very strong woman. Can you can you think about how hard it was for her to take people by foot through the woods at night? She traveled for miles from the south all the way up north to take them to freedom. And she did that. She was the leader of those groups of slaves who were freed. So Harriet Tubman is a hero, definitely. The next person, middle school age, is Caden Thomas.
Hello, my name is Caden Thomas, and today I will be talking to you about Thurgood Marshall. My black hero is Thurgood Marshall, a man who fought many cases to have equal rights for African Americans when the Jim Crow laws was enforced. Thurgood Marshall was born on July 2nd, 1908 in Baltimore, Maryland. Thurgood was an above-average student at Frederick Douglass High School and used his finely honed skills to use as a star member of the debate team. One of his great accomplishments was reciting the whole U.S. Constitution. After graduating high school, he attended Lincoln University, which he joined a distinguished student body, which he was joined by Kwame Nkrumah, the future president of Ghana, the great poet Langston Hughes, and the famous jazz singer Cap Calloway. After graduating Lincoln University, Thurgood attended law school at Howard University. By 1934, Thurgood began working for the Baltimore branch of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, or NCAAP. Over several decades, Thurgood Marshall argued 32 cases and won 29 of them against the Supreme Court to strike down many forms of legalized racism, helping to inspire the American Civil Rights Movement. In 1954, Marshall argued the Brown versus Board of Education of Topeka. This was a case to stop all segregation for schools in the southern states. This was one of the most important cases of the 20th century. And on May 17, 1954, segregation for all schools ended. But let's not stop there. In 1961, the newly elected John F. Kennedy appointed Thurgood Marshall as a judge for the U.S. Second Circuit Court of Appeals. In 1965, Kennedy's successor, Lyndon B. Johnson, appointed Marshall to serve as the first black Solicitor General, and during his 2 years as Solicitor General, Marshall won 14 out of 19 cases. In 1967, President Johnson nominated Marshall to serve on the bench before which he had successfully argued so many times before on the U.S. Supreme Court. On October 2nd, 1967, Thurgood Marshall became the first African American to serve on the nation's highest court. My black hero is Thurgood Marshall, a man who fought for equal rights for Americans, the first black Supreme Court judge. He also ended segregation for schools in the Southern. That is why Thurgood is my Black History Month hero. Thank you.
Caden talked about Thurgood Marshall. Thurgood Marshall was instrumental in fighting the Brown versus Board of Education case. And if you know a little bit about black history, the educated black folk back then, they wanted to attack Jim Crow. They wanted to make sure that Jim Crow went away. So they were strategic on how they fought Jim Crow. They decided to start in the schools. They decided that if we start in the schools, it would be more influential and it would spread throughout the community, because that's where children go, you know. So they decided to fight using the Brown versus Board of Education case, and they won that case. And as a result, I believe it was 1953, the schools were desegregated. In Fort Myers, Florida, you know about our area, in Fort Myers, Florida, schools didn't get desegregated the way they should have been. So the court did an order to desegregate the schools. And they did that because the people in the area were not desegregating the way the law said that they should. So that's something that is, I think, out of effect now, but it's recent that they stopped doing that. So our judges are ready. We'll move on to the next middle school age, Karan Salters.
Hello, my name is Karan Salters, and I will be talking about Madam C.J. Walker. I chose Madison J. Walker as a hero because I wanted to write about someone who most people have not heard about. Walker started her own business. It was the first hair care product line, especially for African American women. It became extremely successful. Madam Walker tried to help people by employing thousands in her business. She did not just try to get rich herself. She gave money to organizations that would help or encourage Black Americans. Moms. My bad. It's in my face. Nancy J. Walker was born Nancy J. Walker was born Sarah Bretland on December 23rd, 1867, in Louisiana, the first member of her family bloodline. After her business became successful, she built a huge house near the Hudson River in New York that everyone, including white people, talked about. She built a house to show people that if you sit and wait for a star to come to you, it is not going to come. So you should get up and make a star come to you. Walker was a keynote speaker at several NAACP conventions, and she also made the biggest contribute ever given to the NAACP by a single person. She also left money in her will to many schools, organizations, and other institutions. Her hair care products showed Black people or Black women that they could fulfill the idle American image, but still show them unique heritage. At the National Negro Business League Convention in July 1912, Walker said, "I am a woman who came from the cotton fields of the South. From there, I was promoted to the wash tub. From there, I was promoted to the kitchen, or cook kitchen. And from there, I was promoted myself into the business of manufacturing hair goods and preparations. I have built my own factory on my ground." Walker became the first Black woman, African white lady, to be a millionaire. In May 25th, 1919, at age 51 at Villa Lawero, Madam C.J. Walker died of hypertension.
Thank you, Karan. Karan talked about Madam C.J. Walker. She was the first African-American woman to become a millionaire. All right, we're ready for our last middle school contestant. Please welcome Tahari Walker.
Hi, my name is Tahari Walker, and today I will be speaking about Jackie Robinson. Jackie Robinson was the first Black man to play Major League Baseball. Jackie broke the color barrier, and most of the people that played baseball were the opposite color than him. They said very bad things about him. Jackie went to the side and he was furious, but he made the best of it and played the sport he always wanted to play. Jackie Robinson was the first African American to have the best stealing base record. He stole 125 bases and 19 home bases. He went to six World Series and won one of them. Jackie inspired other African Americans that they can do anything they put their mind to. Showing air of dignity and courage when faced with racist jeers, death threats, and hate emails. This earned him a lot of admiration from both Blacks and whites, which also was a great example for the civil rights movement that was to follow in the 60s and was known for its nonviolent protest. Jackie Robinson died at age 53 from a heart attack. He had a wife and 3 kids. He made a huge impact in people's lives. Many people now believe they can do anything and no one can stop them if you have a positive mindset and God will lead you.
Thank you. Great job, Tahari. Tahari also talked about Jackie Robinson, famous baseball player. All right, some trivia questions. Who was the first African American to serve as a poet laureate? No. Anybody Anybody else? The first African American to serve as a poet laureate. Female, but not Maya Angelou. Anybody else? Rita Dove. Okay, so the men definitely should know this one. Who was the first African American to become an NFL football coach? The first African American to become an NFL football coach. No. Actually, it's Fritz Poehler.
Huh?
Fritz Poehler. Doesn't say anything, sorry. All right, we're ready to move on. We'll move into high school. I'm not surprised that Maya doesn't want to do this. Everybody here who knows me knows I'm very shy. And I was extremely shy when I was little, so I did my mom the same way. But for our high school age, we're going to start off with Sean Salters. Please give Sean a hand.
My name is Sean Salters, and I'll be talking about Jesse Owens. Jesse Owens was born in Oakville, Alabama on September 12, 1913. As a young child, he never went to school because his parents were poor. He was often sick from chronic bronchial congestion and pneumonia. After his 5th birthday, he developed a large, vigorous bump on his chest that painfully pressed against on his lungs. Eventually, his family relocated and he was able to attend school when he was older. In high school, Jesse set records in a 100 and 200 yard dash and long jumps. He won 3 track and field events at the 1933 National Interscholastics Championship, NIC. 2 years later, while competing for the Ohio State University, Owens equaled 1 record and broke 3 others. In 1935, Big Ten Championships, Jesse overcame a severe tailbone injury and tied a world record in the 100-yard dash and set a long jump that extended for 25 years. He set a new world mark in the 220-yard dash and low hurdles. His career started off as a track and field athlete who was able to compete in the 1936 Berlin Olympic Games. Owens won 4 gold medals and managed to break 2 Olympic records along the way. His record for the broad jump lasted for 25 years until being broken by another athlete. Jesse married Ruth Solomon, and he started to earn money for his physical talents. He raced against horses, cars, and had time to play with the Harlem Globetrotters. Owens found his calling in public relations and marketing. Settled up a business for himself in Chicago, Illinois. He traveled around the world and country to speak other business gatherings. On March 19, 1980, he died of lung cancer in Tucson, Arizona. Jesse Owens inspired me because he provides his dream to other people that can make their dreams come true and bring hope to millions of people. Thank you.
All right, so for our last high school age contestant, we have Jordan Kent. Give Jordan a hand.
Jordan Kent. Oprah, Harpo, Renfrey. Y'all know, I ain't never seen that movie, but I know okay. Alright, Oprah Winfrey is my favorite black superhero. Oprah starved through a lot in her life. She has been through a lot in her past. Most people won't even go through what has she been going through. Her childhood was not ordinary. Oprah remained strong through everything. She was sexually assaulted when she was younger and had racial incidents. Oprah was born in Mississippi. As she became adult, she moved to Nashville, where her father, who was a barber, Oprah into college. In 1971, during that time, she became a radio worker and a television broadcaster while she was in college. Winfrey had a little buzz during that time period. 1976, she moved out of state in Maryland, where she hosted a TV chat show. She made a living and stayed with it for at least 8 years. Later, she got noticed by Chicago TV to host a morning show. She knew by then she was on top of everything. Winfrey was turning her life around. Her viewer count was incredible. She was getting noticed around her hometown. She loved people like herself, a person coming from the bottom, making it to the top. With all her success, she became a more winning person. She had more victories. Oprah earned herself a role in a famous film, The Color Purple. She was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. Oprah looked in her past, knowing all that she accomplished, major goals in her life. She made her even stronger, but it's still not over. 1986 came around. Oprah announced her own national TV show, having an audience of 10 million people. She grossed over 125 million the first year. She received 30 million by the end of it. She sold books and other items during her business from 1986 to 2011, having 25 seasons. Later in life, with her millions, she donated to charities and other organizations. Having all that, she gained ownership of the program on ABC. In 2005, Oprah assisted The Color Purple to be on stage, and she co-produced it in 2015, earning the Tony Award in 2009. Winfrey is my favorite because she went through a lot and helped the community, the poor and the sick. Winfrey helped a lot of people go through struggles. As she went through her own, she gave up millions to help out others. Oprah is my favorite Black superhero.
It's Black superhero Oprah Winfrey, famous talk show host and philanthropist. Sorry. We're going to try calling Maya. Please give Maya a hand. Okay. All right, that's all of the contestants. Today we have a guest speaker, Dr. Peter Ndui. And I'm going to give you a brief bio about Dr. Ndui. But first, let me let you know how I know him. Dr. Ndui is a professor at Florida Gulf Coast University where I work, so we're colleagues. And I've known him for years. The reason why I asked him to come and speak today is because of my impression of him as a Christian. Dr. Ndui helped me through a situation that I was going through professionally. A colleague and I had a disagreement, and I had decided that I was no longer going to speak to that person again. I said, I'm done with that person. That person did something to me, and I was very angry, and I was done with them. Dr. Ndui happened to be friends with the other person, the colleague, and he didn't want us to have this disagreement. So he calls me his sister. He said, sister, my sister Kiana, I want you to have lunch with me and the other person. I said, no. No, I don't want to be in the same room with him. I don't want to have anything to do with him. He said, no, I want you to do this because you're a Christian? I said, yeah. He said, okay, I want to see you act like a Christian. So he, through his way of showing me what a Christian is, he showed me as a mediator. He brought us together. We read scriptures, and we talked through our differences. And it just so happened that yesterday I was walking in the mall, and guess who I saw? The colleague. And he saw me, and he said, hi. He grabbed me and gave me a hug and introduced me to his family. And I was thinking, look at that. All right. That's God. Yeah. So Dr. Dewey showed me that not only was he a Christian, but he walked the Christian life. So let me tell you a little bit about him. Dr. Dewey was born and brought up in Nyeri, Kenya. He had his early education in Kenya up until the master's degree level. He taught social studies courses for several years in various schools in Kenya. As a teacher, he won the Best Geography Teacher Award in the country for 2 years. In 1997, Dr. Ndui was invited to teach in the Atlanta International School. He stayed there for 5 years, but he found it was too cold, and he couldn't bear the cold, so he decided to leave and come to Southwest Florida. In the year 2002, Dr. Ndui and his family immigrated to a warmer Southwest Florida habitat, and they've lived in Fort Myers ever since. Currently, he is the visiting assistant professor in Florida Gulf Coast University's College of Education. Dr. Ndui is very active in our community. He's worked with the Lee County chapter of the NAACP in the ACT-SO program. He's currently the president of the African Network of Southwest Florida. He's also a member of the Lee County School District's Equity and Diversity Advisory Committee. And he chairs the newly created City of Fort Myers Mayor's Diversity and Inclusion Advisory Committee. Dr. Ndui's wife, Priscilla, who was serving as one of our judges, she is a nurse practitioner and works with the Lee Physicians Group. Their entire family live here in Fort Myers, and they attend the New Life Assembly of God Church in Lehigh Acres. For anything that they have achieved in their miraculous journey, they give all the glory to God. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to our guest speaker, Dr. Peter Ndui.
When I listened to that story, you never told me it meant something so much to you, but I'm so glad it did. And to see people working together who had said, no, we don't want to work together. Isn't that God, my friends? We just say, all the glory to who? God. Can I get an amen for that? Amen. Thank you. And it so happens, let me just go on to say this, that I got all these heroes, and I'll get back in a minute to that. But I just want to say I am very, very honored to be standing here. And this is a pulpit. I take it as a holy place. It's a very special place. And I do hope that I'll be able to say something that God would not be ashamed of me saying it. But I just want to say something about Kiana. When Kiana told me a few months ago that I would like you to be here on February 24th, and he said, Kiana, you probably can get somebody better than that. You know, you didn't get it. I'm a simple man. Said, I want to do it. And I worked with Arlene Desmond, and she had done what Kiana was doing today. And I said, for Arlene, for her mom, for everybody else, yes, I'll do it. And I'll ask God to give me the guidance to say something that anybody, Arlene and anybody else say, thank you, you did it. My friends, Kiana, in many ways, is my sister. And as she said, I am a professor, assistant professor. We work together. She's the assistant dean, and she needs all of us, including the colleague she was talking about. She has to work with us, everybody. But I want to say, all these people talked about are healers, and they are very inspirational. But Kiana inspires me. Kiana is also, among a few other people I talk about, is my hero too. Kiana is the first black doctoral graduate in a college of education after 20 years. It was Kiana who was the first female doctoral graduate who stood there, walked that lane as black, and I was so proud of her. Actually, let me brag a little bit too, because why it was so important, because 6 years ago, I was the first black doctoral candidate to walk that lane, and I was the first one that I thought nobody else would do it. Until Kiana came here, you know, I'm telling you. It's not easy. And Kiana, in addition, this never happens, she just did it last year, and in addition, all at once, even her professors, now she is our boss. She is the assistant dean. I don't know where she is going, but praise God, amen? Amen. Thank you, sister. We just said this. We sang at the beginning, why did you come? And I wanted to answer Cynthia, she's not here. We spend a lot of time tomorrow and every day up to Friday with a lot of people. We love diversity. She mentioned that. I love diversity. I love white, black, yellow, green people. It doesn't matter who. We work with them, young, old, everybody. But the thing when we have diversity, I have to be careful what I am saying. Because you might hurt somebody else, like it happens. And once in a while, although I love diversity, don't get me wrong, once in a while, I just want to be with my people, right? Amen. Right, and this is my moment. I don't have to be shy saying whatever I'm going to say today because I am at home. And more so, I see a number of friends here. Edward, my brother, how are you? Lorraine is here. Where is Rhonda? The Pastor Thomas and Alisa, Robert, everybody. I see the family here. It's my adopted home. And when what happened, Darlene, I was at home. I told Ken, I'm coming home whether you like it or not, because I'm part of the family. And we were there. I told the dean, let's go. They normally don't go. Oh, they might eat me up. No, I'll take you there. No, she did say that. But it's nice. So I feel at home, and I'm so honored that I am talking to people who I consider as part of my family, and who I believe also consider me as part of their family. And my wife and I feel very good about that. When you come from far and you get to a place, you remember, you miss your family. You leave people who cared for you, who did not say you have an accent, who did not say anything. You get people who want you to repeat what you are saying. But you need a family. We all do. And my wife and I are so honored that we are in this family. And thank you so much for adopting us as part of your family. All those people, the ladies and gentlemen talked about, and I'm so proud of those people. Let's clap for them, the ones who were here. I know we don't have the winners yet. We have not been announced, but everybody to me is a winner, including my good friend Maya and everybody else. They're all winners. And in many ways, Oprah Winfrey, Harriet Tubman, Rosa Parks, Booker Washington, Thurgood Marshall, Kwame Nkrumah, all the people they talked about, true, we all know them, they're great healers. But I also want to say that when I was thinking about what Sister Boswell was talking about earlier on, when you think about what we have gone through as a people, we are all heroes, my friends. And I'm not going to be ashamed to say this. We have had, the black people, we have had a bigger share of the problems in this world. Whether we are here or in the continent of Africa. And we've gone through so much. And to be able to have survived, getting from that continent, getting to the ship and coming to work in plantations, and we move on and we move on and we move on, my friend, is not easy. And when we look back, we'd say we are heroes. That we have survived all that. that there's so much strong blood in us that we survived. That's a hero. And you're moving on. I was reading the definition of a hero. It's somebody who is selfless. Can I mention it? Somebody who is not just thinking about himself or herself. And this is a moment when we need to know that we have too many people who are not heroes. In fact, the opposite antonym of hero is villain. And that's all that they want to think about their wealth, their power, their fame, their everything else. It's just about me, myself, I die. And it's about time we said, these are not the heroes we need. What those ladies and gentlemen talked about are more heroes because they were selfless. What our pastor is doing here for the last 20 years, she doesn't have to be doing it, but she does it over and over. What Ghana is doing to say continue the work that her mom did, that is being selfless, that is being a hero. I know you know the story, and for the sake of time, I'm not going to spend too much time on the story of what happened this side. Because what did happen when they came from Europe, they divided us in two groups. They took some here to the American continent, and they left others in Africa. And I want to focus a little bit more on those who are left in Africa, because we know a little bit more. But I want you to remember, this is Black History Month. We are all together. We are all one. No water, no forces can break the bonds that bind us. But I want to tell you about my hero, because I asked Kiana, what should I talk about? Talk about your hero. And my hero is known to me, and maybe my wife. Is not famous, but very famous and the greatest hero. Sometime that with what happened in the continent. My mother is my hero. I'm a mama's boy, and I'm so proud to be a mama's boy. Let me tell you the story of my mother, which is a story of many people who are what we were going through by the time I was born. My mother was born in the 30s, and by 1950, she went to school, and when she went to school, she fell in love with her teacher, and when she was in that grade, they were married, and she was expectant of my brother Edward. They're still there. But for that reason, she had to drop out of school. But not only that, that was the time when people started saying, hey, wait a minute. He came here to colonize us. He took our land, the white man I'm talking about now. It's time to get him out. So my dad, her husband now, goes to the forest, because the only way you could fight the British was by going to the forest. You first of all tell them, get out of our land. But because they're not to get out and they have the weapons and they have everything else, what you do is go to the forest and at night come and tell them get out. And then you burn their houses if they don't get out. And that's what my dad was doing. They would go to the forest and at night they come out, they burn the houses of these white folks. Get out of our land. This is our land, man. What are you doing? And in the process, they would also come and get food from the village. And they would get little ammunition, whatever they would get. It is in one of those journeys from the forest that Dad is coming to pick his food. And within a short while, there was something in my mother's. I don't know what time, how they got time, but my mother was expectant in that way, right? And so she's expectant. And they look aloud, how can she be expectant? When does that terrorist guy come? And so they beat her up. There was no medical care because she's a bad woman. She had an affair with a terrorist who is her husband. When did he come? You must tell us. And she can't tell them. But she survived with her baby. She never went to hospital. There was no medical care, but she survived. And she delivered. 3 days after delivery, her and all the bad women were taken to go and dig a trench between the forest and the village so that those terrorists don't come to the village. And she's carrying her baby at the back. When she's carrying the baby at the back, she's given birth 3 days. This is a story I know very well, not just because I was there, but I've heard it over and over. So she fell. She says she thought I probably peed or something on her, but she thought that I was bleeding. But everyone knew she was very weak. She had just given birth. She has gone through this journey. She fell. All the women allowed her, who are being forced by the white man to dig this trench, the supervisor, the white man, seized it to shoot her and her baby, cocked the gun to shoot her and her baby. And that's me. All the women came allowed us, me and Mama, and when they came allowed us, he told him, shoot all of us. If you have to shoot her and her baby, shoot all of us. He looked at all of them, he told them, get out of here. They went back to the village, he did not shoot anybody, and they became my mothers. I became a symbol of their freedom, because they were not punished again. And somehow I think I turned out good. I was very good in school, and in school, there was always one side, were you supporting the British, or were you fighting for the independence? And I became a symbol of the independence. My mom suffered many things, but my mom taught us something. Love will fight for you. You don't need. My dad, those people were very angry because they really, although they got independence, they never got exactly what they needed. But Mom taught us to love. She had enough, more than enough reasons to hate the white folks. They wanted to kill her and her baby. They made her go through so much. But she taught us to love. She taught us that love is a greater weapon than hate. She taught us that you don't need to be as angry as they are. If they show you the angriness, show them the love. We went on, and somehow Mom could not speak English. I started seeing some white folks coming to home, every people from different colors. Dad is not so amused by that, but Mom says, just love them. We went on to school, and if I fast forward, I leave all that because of the sake of time, many things happened. But it was all good. I did very well in school, just to make Mama happy. Somehow I became a very special child. She got other kids, but I became a very special child. Most because I was doing well in school, and I think I wanted her happy. But I think by the time she realized we were both about to die, we survived, how she carried me under the most difficult of circumstances, she was. I was a special thing. Fast forward, I was called one time, come and teach in Atlanta International School, as Kenneth said. And I was nervous. I have an accent. The great America, they couldn't even hear what you're going to do. So I went to the village, and of course I had to talk to Mama, and I told Mama, they want me to go and teach. Teach what? I was teaching geography. What is that? That mountains are tall and valleys are deep. They don't have anybody in America to tell them that. They have to come to the village in Kenya to do that. She said, Mama, it's just a job I got. I had a yearbook for the school they had sent to me, so I showed Mama, and Mama looked at the book, and we turned pictures, and all at once, Mama paused. And she said, they seem to be all white. I said, Mama, yes, they are, but so. She called Peter, my little nephew, to go to the village to get my mothers, the ones who had saved us, because they became like my mothers. She called, she told Peter, go and get them. Go and call your uncle's mamas. So they came, and in the evening she said, okay, tell your mothers, Peter, tell your mothers what's happening. I said, Mama, you can tell them, I'm just going to work. Show them the book. And then she asked them, do you see what I see? I don't know what she's talking about. Finally she said, do you see that kid you saved? You came around to save that kid. The white man now wants him to go and teach his children. The white man is calling him. Look at that book. They are white kids. He's calling him to go and teach his own kids. I'll never forget those words. And the kid was not just saved for our kids in Kenya, but even for his own kids. Show them love. Go there, show them love. My friends, for all the things we go through as black people, even as individuals, it's so easy to lose track of God and lose our faith. When Ken asked me, he said, I want you to give an inspirational speech. There are many other details, but for the sake of time, I cannot go through that. But I do hope that you get the message. We'll succeed. We'll win it all one day, my friends. Yes, MLK said we'll say one day we'll say free at last. Free at last without God Almighty. We cannot lose our spirituality. The God of Abraham, the God of Noah, the God of Jacob, the God who did those miracles is still doing miracles. We're not going to be scared of what we are hearing from Washington or wherever, because God is still in control. And we will win. I'm so glad I'm saying this in this church with something called victory. My mom's 3 words, most famous words were, God is able. And God will do it. Whatever it was, if we didn't have food, all that she said, God is able. If I want to succeed in an exam, God is able. And my friends, God is able. We can do all things, but we cannot lose sight. Because our people who came here and those ones who are left in the continent survive more than anything else because of their spirituality, because of their belief in God, because that God is able. Let me end up by reading Mom's favorite verses. Let me just say this. Mom died on the 17th of February, the year 2001. She had an accident. So this is very special to me, because just like a week after 18 years, it is like last weekend is when you're celebrating her death. I still remember her words, even when life is so hard, Kiana, anywhere else, I know God is able. And that God who stopped that man to shoot me and Mama when I was a little baby, 3 days old, is still in control, is still on the throne, and is still going to continue. Amen to that?
Amen. Amen.
Let me read this, my friends, because these are the words, because sometimes we can lose sight of that God is in control. This is the Black History Month. We will win it all. And life was not meant to be a straight line up, but it goes up and down. We got Obama. We got there. We'll get another one. These people here, the ones who are just leading those heroes. Even Maya, who did not speak, you'll speak one day, you'll say, is this the same Maya who was like that? I'm telling you, think about it. I was talking to her now. She will, because she's a strong woman. This is what we should be doing, Kiana. This is the biggest thing. Because this is where we get our greater people. We have to continue. Ali did her part. Please continue your part for Mama and for all of us. Sometimes when life is hard, we don't forget, but let me read the famous verses for Mom. is from Habakkuk 3:17-19. And Mama just read this for us. I never knew the meaning, but now I read it every now and then, and I feel good, and I thought I'd read it, particularly in her memory. That the fig tree does not bud, and there are no grapes on the vines, though the olive crop fails, and the field produces no food, so there are no sheep in the pen, and no cattle in the stores, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I'll be joyful in God, my Savior. The sovereign Lord is my strength. He makes my feet like the feet of a deer. He enables me to tread on the heights. And Mama always said, everything happens for the good. Sometimes I don't know why she left a bit too early, but I'm sure one day I'll meet her. And I'll meet Aline Desmond, my very good friend. She was in EDAC when her health was failing. We were in the same committee. But I do know our work continues with what I saw today. Thank you so much.
Let's give Dr. Peter and Julie another hand. He talked about his hero, and his hero is his mom. I identified that. My hero is also my mom. I try my hardest to follow in her footsteps because I know that she was teaching us the right way. She told us to stay rooted in God, rooted in the Bible, and rooted in our spirituality, to know God for ourselves. And I think we all believe that, and we all live that. Before we move on in the program, I'm going to try again to allow Maya to read her essay.
Come on, Maya.
Who is my hero?
My hero is a woman who could do it all. Born April 4, 1928, she could sing, act, and best of all right. My hero won many awards, the Presidential Medal of Freedom, 3 Grammy Awards, and she was nominated for Tony Awards. Heroes are often the first to do great things. My hero was the first African American woman to have her first screenplay produced in a film called Georgia, Georgia. A hero fights for the welfare of others. My hero was the actively in the civil rights movement and worked with dear Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. A hero makes the impossible impossible. My hero childhood was hard, but she overcome obstacles to become a first famous motto poet. Who is my hero? She knows why the cage bird sings during hard time. She still rises. She could dance, but through social act, she sung for the cure, even on the hills of mourning down in the Delta with strong roots. She shall not be moved. On May 28, 2014, her day was dawned. My hero is Maya Angelou.
Thank you, closing remarks and words of appreciation from Pastor Clarissa Thomas. Please give her a hand.
Maya, you rock. Above all, I know what fear is. I think I know better than anybody in here. Praise God. Give honor to the Spirit of Christ, to each and every one in here today. I thank God for each of you being here. Praise God. I thank God for our wonderful speaker. Let's give him another hand. I can say that my mom is also my hero. Hallelujah. I'd like to thank all of our participants. You know, I look at the boys and they are so handsome. The girls are so beautiful. And Akila, praise God, Akila is the youngest, and this was her first essay. And Maya, you did a wonderful job. I just want to thank all of you. You did so great. And I could see that confidence in you. That I can tell you I never had that confidence at that age. But thank God. He did move the mountain. And he did. Praise God. I thank God for all the pastors that are here. Amen. All of our saints, wherever they come from. Praise God. First Baptist, St. John, Allen Chapel, House of Prayer, Lily Bass. Thank God for Bishop Scott. Praise God and his companions. Thank God for each and every pastor. Praise the Lord. I saw, Pastor Williams, Pastor Pinckney, am I missing somebody? I'm usually I miss somebody. But anyway, praise God, Pastor Snell, brother and sister pastor, co-pastor, amen. Both of them, thank God for them. Thank God for you. Amen. So many years ago, my sister started this here in our church. And when she started, there were candidates from all of the churches. First Baptist, Allen Chapel, St. John, all of them.
And it was serious competition.
And they had, yes sir, there was some, at one time, we had a white participant. And that white participant walked away with the first prize, and I'm telling you, I was not happy. I was not happy. But we talked about it so much in the school system and around until the word got around, and so somebody came down from that side of the Immaculate to this side. Amen. Praise God. But anyway, thank God for it. And it's still going on. It's not going as much, as big as it was, but it's still going. Amen. And maybe this generation, you got to take it. You got to take it over. Praise God. It was passed down. Already it was passed down one time. It got to be passed down again. Who knows, she might be the one that's in charge of it for the next one, next round. But whatever it is, we thank God. We love God. I know this, and I know you know this, that Black History Month is not just celebrated in February. We are black the whole year. We understand. When I dress up and I put on my little green thing, when I was in school, the little green I put on St. Patrick's, and they celebrate St. Patrick's on the 14th of March, not 14th, 17th or whatever it is, in March. Aren't they Irish all year? Yeah. But their history was never taken away from them. You got it. People, don't put this down. We know we black all year. Don't put it down. Amen. Teach your children all year, but celebrate it also in February. Amen. Keep on doing it. Somebody had to fight for this. Amen.
I would like to speak to your contestants before you do that. I know I'm not on the program.
Okay.
But I want to talk to you contestants.
Sure.
Because I grew up doing this. And
Here's
this
the
essay competition, I don't mean it.
Yeah.
Everybody hear me?
No, no.
This essay competition was a serious competition. And there were a lot of people involved in it, from all over. People just come from out of town to come here and stand behind the podium and give their speech. We weren't allowed to have paper. We had to memorize it. And when we were here, this is how you delivered the speech. You looked at everybody sitting out there. You made eye contact. And you gave them your words. And you didn't laugh and you cracked a smile because you were serious. And you were serious because it was competition and you didn't want to be embarrassed. And there were trophies and real money, rewards. I remember plenty about us. Miss Taylor's sons, and they were sharp. They all stood up here and delivered speeches, just like this. And we were coached how it was supposed to be done. That's why I'm taking the time to do this right now. I don't care how you think, I want you to listen. When you come back up here next year, I want you just like this. I want you to memorize as much of it as you can memorize. And I want you to deliver it to the people while you're looking at it. You hear me? You got it? JC? I'm done.
He is correct. It was a serious competition. The contestants today will be winning a cash prize. Our first place will be winning $50 in addition to a first place trophy and a gift and a certificate. Our second place winners will be winning $30. They will also get a trophy, a gift, and a certificate. And then our third place winners will be winning $20 with the trophy, a gift, and a certificate. So next year, you guys got to bring it. And maybe Brother Desmond said he's willing to chip in and increase the amount so that you can win more. But he wants you to bring it. So you have to take it serious. Okay? And we're going to have Sister Rhonda Thomas come up and announce the winners. And as she comes, please give her a hand.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I also want to congratulate Miss Maya for her courage. I was a scared little girl up here every year during the essay contest. I never got over my fear. It's something I work through each and every time I have to stand in front of someone. I'm shaking in my boots right now. All right, so we're going to start with the elementary school contestants. And I'll start with third place in each category and work my way up to first place. So our third place winner for the elementary school category is Miss Maya. Okay, our second place contestant is Akila. And our first place winner in the elementary school category is Akeem. So we'll move on to middle school. And so in the middle school category, our third place winner is Mr. John. Okay, our second place winner is Mr. JC. The first place winner
honor of this and the special role in education, I want to promise that for next year, first place trophy will come from the African Network of Southern Australia.
Someone could grab this. Before we have the final announcements, Sister Boswell wanted everybody who's in your African attire to come up, and we want to take a picture. So we'd love it if you would come up and take a picture up front in your beautiful African attire.
All right, so when you're done, because he's in the way, I need Brother Henderson to move just a second. All right, everybody, looking at me. 1, 2, 3, crouch down, crouch down. You can do it. Just 2 more seconds. 1, 2, 3. Appreciate y'all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.